Hello, second graders. Today we're going to continue with lesson 4 for Unit 5, Module B. The vocabulary word for this lesson is blizzard. Blizzard means a snowstorm during the winter. One way you can remember what this word means is that the word bad begins with the letter B. The word blizzard begins with the letter B. A blizzard is a really bad snowstorm. Our lesson objectives for today. Our convention's objective is I will be able to use prepositional phrases, and our writing objective is I will be able to write about narratives to describe characters' actions, thoughts, and feelings. Convention's mini lesson. Use prepositional phrases. Prepositional phrases have a preposition and the object of the preposition. Prepositional phrases can give the reader more information about when, where, or how something happens. Writers can add prepositional phrases to a simple sentence to provide the reader with more detailed information. So let's look at this simple sentence. The government had taken this land. Now, if we add a prepositional phrase, the government had taken this land from Native Americans. Okay, so again, let's look at this simple sentence. Some children went west, and then if we add a prepositional phrase, some children went west without their parents. So if we look at these simple sentences, we see that they start with just a subject and then the predicate. Okay, so for this one, the subject would be the government. The predicate is had taken this land. The subject here is children, and the predicate is went west. So adding a prepositional phrase provides information such as from whom the government took the land or without whom the children went west. This added information is important in understanding the entire history about the land. So in your online writing journal, under lesson 4, we're going to be writing some prepositional phrases. So add a prepositional phrase to the sentence below. Then write your own sentences that use prepositional phrases. Okay, so after reading about Ruth Chrisman and also using our vocabulary word blizzard, right, so this would be a simple sentence here. Ruth Chrisman saved her students. Now we're going to add the prepositional phrase. She saved her students from a blizzard, right? She took them into a nearby house, right? You could also say Ruth Chrisman saved her students from a blizzard by taking them inside a house. That would be another prepositional phrase, okay? But for here, we'll just use this one, from a blizzard. Now, I want you to come up with your own sentences for numbers 2 and 3. They can either connect to the book or you can make up any one of your own. Narrative writing. Identify character traits. Writers describe characters by providing details about what the character thinks, says, let me just fix this, and does. Readers can then put these details together to understand the character's actions, thoughts, and feelings. Writers use many ways to show character traits. A writer might use adjectives and action verbs to describe what the character looks like or the actions the character takes. A writer might also include dialogue. You remember we worked with dialogue earlier in the year. That's when two characters are talking to each other. So a writer might also include dialogue that records the exact words a character says or quotes that the character thinks. During reading, readers can look for details that help them understand character traits. Let's look at the following questions that help us identify character traits. What descriptions tell what the character looks like or does? How does the writer tell what the character says, thinks, or feels? And how do the descriptions of the character's actions, thoughts, and feelings help me understand why the character does the things he or she does? So when writing narratives, you can include rich details that provide your readers with specific information about the actions, thoughts, and feelings of your characters. Each detail should be included for the purpose of telling the reader something they need to know about this character in order to understand why the character does what he or she does and how he or she develops over the course of a narrative. Let's look at the following examples of how a writer provides information about the traits of a character. Ruth, called Babe by her family, helped with the work. She gathered wild fruit such as plums and raspberries in the nearby canyon. She loved the long summer days when the prairie grass was taller than she was. The writer provides details about the character's actions of gathering fruit, her feelings about summer, and what she looked like being shorter than the tall grass. Since our neighbors were such a long distance when we visited each other, we spent several days. How happy we were when we would look out and see someone coming over the hill. By quoting the character's exact words, the writer provides detailed information about her thoughts and feelings about life on the prairie. So, drafting a narrative. Before writing, a writer can fill out a character web to record details about a character's actions, thoughts, and feelings. The writer can then include these details in the final narrative. Let's look at how we can use a character web for Laura Ingalls. So, in the middle, we would put the character's name, which is Laura. What did she do? She wrote about being a pioneer, right? What were some of her activities that she loved to do? She loved reading and learning. Okay, a descriptive word, an adjective, would be that she was independent. And then another adjective to describe Laura, she was adventurous. So in your online writing journal, okay, even though it says on a separate sheet of paper, we're going to be typing it in on our Google Docs writing journal. Write the first draft of your narrative about Laura Ingalls Wilder. Your narrative should follow the events outlined in your story sequence chart. So this was from lesson 3 that we used. Include details about Laura's thoughts, feelings, words, and actions to help readers understand Laura's character better. Return to the text to gather facts about Laura's childhood. So you'll go back to the text. You may also use this character web to write some sentences about Laura to describe her character. Okay, so I am here if you have any questions. Leave me a comment or question on my Google Classroom. Thank you.